They're worried about being creepy. The creepy things men do that creep out women. They don't want to creep girls out. They think that approaching women is creepy. What if people see them? What if she thinks he's weird? What if he interrupts her? And the biggest reason that men feel this way is because they're just way too nice. It's a nice guy situation. Oh, if I approach that girl and I say, hey, I thought you were hot, she's gonna think I'm a creep. And all I want to do is bang her. Well, isn't it true? Isn't that why you're approaching her? Is it because you want to sell her insurance? Is it because you think she might have an interesting intellectual mind? No, it's because you think she's hot. You're a man. You have a penis, and you would like to put it inside of her warm hole. And guess what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, as long as you take action, right? Obviously, I'm not advocating that you use women for your sexual gratification and nothing else. No. Here's what's really creepy though. Here's what creeps women out. The guy who stares at them. He stares and he stares and he stares. And then maybe he doesn't take action. He doesn't talk to her. He doesn't tell her what he wants. He doesn't give her any indication of any reason. There's this movie called Terrifier. And it's a horror movie. Go check it out. It's on Tubi. If you have Tubi, that's a free app. But there's this movie called Terrifier. And there's a scene where, I'll put a screenshot here. There's a scene where the girl is sitting in a cafe and this clown is just staring at her. And then she's looking at him like, what do you want? And he just smiles really creepy, like a creepy clown smile. And he's practicing his mimes. And she's really obviously creeped out by this. Now, of course, the clown is really ugly and terrifying looking. That's why it's called Terrifier. But if that clown had just said, oh, hey, I'm a clown. I'm practicing my mime thing. I thought you were really pretty. And she might not be attracted to him, but then she'll have some context. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, sorry. I have a boyfriend. Bye-bye, right? If she's really like not into that guy, that clown, she would then be able to tell him. But the clown doesn't say anything. The clown just keeps staring silently with like a weird grin on his face. That's creepy. So one thing that's really creepy is staring and not talking, not approaching. That's why if you see a girl and you think she's really good looking, you have to follow the good old 3-second rule. You have 3 seconds to go and talk to her before your brain talks you out of it. Otherwise, just leave her alone. Don't stare at her. Don't just sit there lustfully looking at her. But you could always walk over there and start a conversation. I just met a few women at the beach last week, right? So I went and I put my blanket down on the sand. I was getting some sun to make myself even more incredibly handsome, right? Getting that vitamin D for my mood. And I saw a beautiful woman beside me. Not so close either. But I was looking at her and she saw me looking and she looked back. And then I looked at her again, and I noticed that I kept looking at her 3-4 times. I'm like, now I'm going to creep her out if I don't go say hello. So I walked over there, and she was reading a book. And I said, hey, that's really great that you're reading a book. Not enough people read books anymore. Everybody's just addicted to their smartphones. So I find it really impressive that you, as a young woman, are reading actual books. And she was immediately hooked by that. Oh, yeah, totally. People don't read anymore. We ended up talking for almost half an hour. And I got her contact, right? So that's how I negated the creepiness, was by actually going over and introducing myself. Sure, you might not be at the stage where you have the courage, the experience. You're not able to overcome your fear, your approach anxiety. That's why you need to practice. You need to learn how to approach. You need to work on your riz a little bit. Here's another thing that's really creepy to women. Premeditation. So what does premeditation mean? Premeditation is when you have already been stalking her for like 3 blocks before you approach her, and then you let her know, or she already knows because she sees you following her, right? So a common mistake guys make is they approach a girl and then they'll say, hey, I just saw you over there and I had to approach you. So the first thing the girl thinks is, from where? How long have you been following me for? That's creepy because it's premeditated. Like premeditated murder means you planned it all out. That's why women don't like the idea of men learning pickup or learning game or whatever, because it's premeditated. It's like, oh wow, you sat down and you studied seduction like a scientist? What am I, just like a test subject? I'm just a test. Like, it's weird. It seems really weird like that. So even though you might have seen this beautiful girl walk by downtown and you went, wow, she's really exceptional, I would love to meet her, but your heart starts beating. Boo, 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 boo. Your mind starts racing. This is a new guy syndrome. What do I say? Oh, I don't know what to say. But you want to talk to her, so you follow her and you follow her and you follow her. And the more that you follow her, the more you get in your head, the more you start wondering, what if she thinks I'm creepy? What if she knows I'm following her? Is this creepy? Okay, so it's not like you have bad intentions. Most people don't have bad intentions. Hopefully you're not the next Jeffrey Dahmer or something. No, but you're just a guy. You're horny. You think she's beautiful and you want to meet her. That's totally fine, okay? But do not tell her you followed her for 3 blocks. I knew another girl. She met this guy and he told her online, and he told her, yeah, I've been watching your profile for a few weeks and I even masturbated to some of your photos. Now, he thought maybe that was going to be a compliment, you know, like, oh, I found your pictures so beautiful I jerked off to them. And in a way it is. Like, say, if I said that to my girlfriend, she would think it was funny, right? Because she's my girlfriend. But to a stranger, that's really weird because it was premeditated. It means, how long have you been stalking my social media profile for? How long have you been looking at it? Like, that's really weird. So, women are like cats and men are like dogs. So, how does a dog meet another dog? It sees a dog. It looks at its body language. Does it seem like an approachable animal? Is its tail up? Or its ears up? Is it on fight or flight? No, if it seems calm, the dog will run up there, depending on the size of the dog, and sniff it, wagging its tail. I'm not a threat, but I'm here to meet you. I'm an animal just like you. And that's how dogs act in the moment. They're creatures of the present moment. If they see something they like, a ball goes flying by, they chase the ball. If they see a bitch, which is a female dog, they see that bitch, they go for that bitch, right? Boom. And there's the dog that it's approaching doesn't stop and go like, hey, that's kind of creepy what you just did coming up to me. Because it's a natural behavior. It's a natural thing for the dog to do. Now, a cat's natural instinct is not to run straight to every stranger it sees, right? It'll selectively choose which strangers it wants to approach, and it'll approach only when it feels comfortable or it feels like it wants to be approached or it wants to approach a human. 2 cats, when they see each other, they'll usually stop and sit down from a distance and look at each other. They'll sit down and they'll look at each other and they'll look away like, I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. And they'll wait to see who moves first. And it's definitely a dance with cats, right? So that's why cats and dogs, they clash. If the dog just runs straight to the cat's going to take off, slap it in the face. So if you're approaching a woman, you got to think she's a bit of a feline creature, but she's also expecting you to be a dog, not a cat. So if you're sitting back like a cat, watching her for half an hour, but not making a move, she starts to think, well, this is not a dog, this is another cat. This is not a man. This is not a man. This is a boy or a woman, or they're gay. You know, I've been putting out the signals as a woman. I want this guy to approach me. And you don't, then maybe you're gay, or maybe she doesn't know. Maybe you're not even interested. But just staring at her is really weird. So, how do you remedy this? When you see a woman you want to approach, you think she's hot, you go up to her without thinking, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. Hopefully you have a little bit of experience and you can say something interesting. You know, if she's reading a book, if she has a bicycle, you could comment on the bicycle, you know, anything, just to introduce yourself. It's okay. If she doesn't want you to talk to her, she's going to let you know pretty quick. But she will never think you're creepy for trying to talk to her, unless you feel creepy. That's where the law of state transference comes in. So the law of state transference is really simple. It's whatever you feel, she feels. So if you feel like what you're doing is wrong, she's going to sense that based on your eye movements, based on your body posture. If you're hunched in, you're like, oh, hey, what you reading there? She's going to think, well, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he nervous? What's he up to? Does he have some kind of ulterior motive? Now, most likely that's going to be because you're nervous. Your adrenaline's pumping. it's scary to talk to women, and women don't really understand. They don't understand how scary it is to be a man approaching a strange woman. We have a lot of instinctual programming going back millions of years in our lizard brain telling us we could die if we go talk to that girl. Another caveman could come out of the jungle, go, smash us with a rock, right? Don't talk to my woman. But that's not going to happen in the modern age. And most men, if they see you even talking to their girlfriend or their sister, they're going to investigate first, find out what's up. Maybe she knows him. Unless the guy's an absolute goon, you're not going to get murdered. But the instinct is still there. So you're going to get nervous. You're going to get anxious. I actually created a free PDF, a report called the Fearless Approach Blueprint. You can download it. It's a whole guide on how you can approach a girl without feeling nervous. It's a real mind hack so that you're calm, you're collected. When you approach her, you feel like, wow, this is really easy. So just click on that link and you can grab that. The gist of it is that you learn how to control your heart rate and you learn how to control the thoughts racing in your mind when you go talk to the girl. And you just act without intention, without premeditation, like a dog. Oh, a beautiful woman. Hey, I just noticed how beautiful you are. I was drawn to you. I had to meet you. I'm Tony. You know, what woman in the daytime is not going to at least have a warm reaction to that? There's nothing creepy about it. Oh, even if she's looking at her smartphone and you have some dumb opener like, what kind of smartphone is that you're looking at? Well, that's a really bad opener because it's just taking value. It's better than nothing. It's better than just staring. Oh, it's a Samsung. Really? I have an iPhone. What do you think? Do you prefer iPhone to Samsung for any specific reason? Right? You could ask her that. That's really boring. It's not seductive, but it's still not creepy. At least she knows your name. At least she knows you exist. At the very minimum, right? So, to avoid being creepy so that girls don't think you're a creep, you know, what do you do so that women don't think you're creepy is don't think the thought that you're a creep ever. Don't even allow that thought to enter your mind. Is this creepy what I'm doing? Because if it is really something wrong that society would frown upon, there will be laws in place. You know, like you don't do that kind of thing. Like you don't go and sneak photos of women under the door of a change room or some weird shit like that. Like that's creepy, right? Or you don't hit on like really young girls because that's not legal and it's not right. You know, you go, if you're just approaching a woman who's legal age in your country, you're an adult, she's an adult, you find her attractive, and you go and you hit on her a little bit. You can do it so it's not creepy. One of the tells, though, of someone who might have bad intentions is going to be like the facial gestures, right? If you're like, and the vocal tonality. So if you're like, hey, how you doing? Like that kind of stuff can be misconstrued as being weird or creepy, like the creepy clown, right? Because it's not normal behavior. Right? And usually most guys, when they act like that, it's not because they have bad intentions, it's just because they're nervous. And so your face is twitching and you're not sure about your vocal tonality and you don't have a lot of experience talking to women, so it might come off as creepy. It's totally understandable that you might feel like you're coming off that way, but that's why you get experience, that's why you practice, that's why you approach hundreds or thousands of women in your life so that when you approach a girl, you seem cool, you seem normal. It's not a big deal that she's a 10 out of 10, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. She doesn't affect you like that because you're a normal guy. You're just a fun guy who's social. He likes to introduce himself to women. You're extroverted. Because here's the things that women like in a man. Bravery, extroversion, positivity, and strength. Right? So, bravery, the act of approaching her in the first place and striking up a conversation, or just being able to strike up conversations with anybody, and so is actually really brave. It shows that you're taking risks, and someone who can do that, it's like having a superpower. Imagine just being able to talk to anybody anytime and have them interested in you, have them like you. That's really brave, right? And you're extroverted. So that means you're not just sitting at home every night playing video games, but you actually like to talk to people. You like to go out and introduce yourself. You like to have fun. Now, chances are if you're watching this video, you're probably introverted. But you don't have to be introverted all the time. You can put on your extroverted hat, right? Now, today I'm extroverted. When I go out to meet women, I'm extroverted. Then when I go home, I can do my introverted stuff. But women prefer extroverted guys. Positive. You're never saying like, oh, the weather today sucks, or I don't want to go to work tomorrow, I hate my job, or I'm sorry to bother you. Like, you don't say that because it's all negative. And women, beautiful women, they don't want to hear negative things. All, and then yeah, extroverted, outgoing, positive, high energy. You get the point. So women want strength. Yeah, strength, that's it. So that doesn't necessarily mean you have a really powerful body, but that does not hurt. If you aren't going to the gym a little bit, at least go enough to get a little bit of a arm. Build your arms or your chest a little bit. But strength is actually your ability to control your own emotions, because she wants to know if you see her texting someone, are you going to go like, hey, who are you texting? Are you texting that other guy? And get jealous and smack her around? Like, or lose your temper and scream at her? Like, that's not safe for her.